Hey, Taylor,
Hey, Jimmy.
how did the Ewoks build all those weapons
I don't know how.
with their bare hands?
Ah!
I know this one.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna tell that joke at work.
Hello, explorers. I'm Jack, and welcome to episode 121. And as always, thank you very much for joining us. Now, if you like what you hear, please leave us a rating on your podcast provider of choice. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you're joining us via YouTube.
Yes, and always welcome back. If this is your first time here, we're glad to have you. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe.
Yes. And welcome back to Taylor. The original three are back on your
Yeah. OG.
podcast now.
Yeah,
How
I
is
gotta come
everyone?
back every once in a while,
Yeah. Let's start things with you, Jimmy. How you been?
Do you want me to lie or do you want me to tell you the truth? It's been a rough couple of weeks. We'll just put it that way. But we got the dub today. I mean, the Steelers are trying to add to my heart issues, but with the way they played today. But I'm glad to be here talking with you guys. I needed this chat after the week or two that I've had. So some life changes coming down the road.
Good.
So,
Good on you.
How about you, Taylor? Hopefully you've been doing a little bit better than I have.
I've been good. I feel like I always say the same thing, but I'm always so busy at work at the zoo, and we had like a late night event last night.
Photos. That was cool.
It was so fun. We did like carcass feeding with the lions and stuff. Oh, it was super fun. But I was super late, so if I slur my words or anything, it's probably just because I'm exhausted, or that's just usually me, anyways. So.
I know the feeling. I've had the same sort of week as you, Taylor. It's been very, very busy. I've settled down a lot more, obviously, because now all my stuff started to arrive. So the studio beyond me is a massive work in progress, as you can see. But the quiz was a fantastic success last week. I've already got 2 new contestants wanting to get on. People are already messaging me, but I'll save that for this week's Force Encounters.
For my ally is the Force.
Okay, so I'll start us off for this week's Force Encounters. I've already mentioned it. Yes, the return of my Star Wars quiz. Fantastic. Thank you to Taylor coming on. Very surprised at the result, not going to lie. Thank you to Will of the Force as well for coming on. Well done on his victory. So we'll be seeing him back on the quiz at some point. But yeah, I've had lots of people interested in jumping on the quiz. So if you want to get on the quiz, let me know. Message me as soon as possible. I'll book you in. I'll let you know the dates. And it's always run on a Thursday, 8 o'clock Mountain Time. But I can tailor it if people want to get on there with a different time zone and just try and keep people, within a chance of winning a lightsaber. Jimmy, what Force Encounter have you got for us this week, bud?
Yeah, man. First off, awesome to have the show back on. It was fun watching that and heckle you guys. That was a good time. Taylor, I thought you were crushing it there at the beginning. I thought you were walking away with that one, and it kind of got away from me. But I thought you did really, really well. So you're one for one on quiz shows. So you're doing pretty good.
That's there we awesome.
Go. I guess my Force Encounter is kind of like a PSA. Anytime my life's been getting difficult or whatever, things don't, everyone has different, it's all subjective, but I always kind of lean into Star Wars a lot whenever it is and kind of go back to the things that, bring me happiness. And, I think about all those idiots out there who are complaining about stuff and, like on our YouTube videos and like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, just enjoy it. Life is too hard sometimes and not as, just enjoy it. For that, I have thrown myself into Star Wars. We've pushed out a couple of videos over the weekend. So check those out on YouTube, bunch of short ones on some different topics. And I'm working on some behind the scenes on some interviews from some authors, some really good books. I don't think the ones come out yet, so we're still working with those 2 guys, and we're still waiting to hear back. But yeah, so we're trying to get some more content out there for all of our listeners and viewers. So just going to throw myself into Star Wars, and that's going to be that. Taylor, how have you been, and what's your Force encounter this week?
I've been pretty good. So I thought that my Force encounter was going to be a friend from work thinking that I deserved a R2D2 Instapot, which is actually super cool. Like all the buttons and everything. It's hilarious. But I actually was given this week, I was given a Darth Vader helmet.
Oh dang!
So, and it's in 2 pieces, and you can put the front. Oh, it's actually in 3 pieces because of the neck part. And you put it on, and then you put the whole like top crown bit on, and I just was
dang.
instantly like, like you can't put it on without making the noises.
Darth Taylor.
Yeah. So I think I'm officially at the part of my life where everybody knows how much I like Star Wars,
There you
and now
go.
I'm just getting these like gifts, which is actually quite amazing. So anybody who's given me random stuff, even the Star Wars toque that I got given a couple weeks ago, thank you. I really do value all of it. I love collecting all that weird, apparently cooking stuff. So yeah.
Nice.
Let's
I
see.
can't-
Let's see if you can see the Darth Vader helmet. Oh, there it is.
Oh, there he is. Yep.
Right
Very
up there.
Awesome. We need to get some pictures of that R2D2 thing as well.
Yes. Okay, I will. I'll get a picture of it later.
We'll get them up. I'd love to hear as well, actually, just while we're on this, any of the listeners or viewers, anything weird and wacky that you've got. And obviously Charlie's not here with us this week, but I know she's got that wacky Jar Jar collection going on.
Love it.
But yeah,
It's all-
right. Okay, let's head in then to this week's news.
The people in this crowd will soon be among almost 40,000.
For those who are among the 900 with news media or promotional tickets, the sneak preview promises to be the only chance to see the Empire.
Okay, so it comes as no surprise. Let's be honest. Star Wars Andor has won 4 Emmys, and there's a whole host of names. We'd be here all day reading everyone involved. So again, just a massive, massive congratulations to everybody involved. Well done, thoroughly deserved. They won Best Editing for a Drama Series, Best Visual Effects, Best Fantasy Sci-Fi Costumes, Best Production Design for a Native Period or Fantasy Program. And again, like I said, there's a whole ton of people. So a massive, massive congratulations. Me and Jimmy were lucky enough to be at Celebration in Japan. And I said it from the off, Jimmy said it from the off, we could just feel the energy, the love they had for Andor. And yeah, massive, massive well done. Anyone got any thoughts on that?
You know, it's not surprising that these costumes, when we were at Rebel ScumCon, and Cyril and I can't think of Kyle Solar, and I cannot think of the other guy's name. He was Mon Mothma's assistant that helps him out. And he's also, but anyways, like, so people would, always ask the questions like, no, what would you take from set if you could? And they're both like the clothes, like both of them without even hesitation were like, yeah, I'd want the clothes. I'm not sure where I'd wear them, but I would just want the clothes. So even the actors understand what they're working with. And, we've talked about it at length on this show that I don't know if it should have been best fantasy sci-fi costumes, not just best costuming, like in general. Like, I don't know what was better than that.
Yeah.
Pretty impressive. And it'll kind of lead us into, this stuff will kind of lead us into our main topic later this afternoon.
Yes, it will indeed. What other news have we got?
All right. Darth Vader's lightsaber from The Empire Strikes Back and The Return of the Jedi sold at the Prop Store Entertainment Memorabilia live auction for a whopping $3.65 million, including buyer's premium and the fee to the auction house. $3.65 million. We made a short video on this. I'll give you guys a little bit of the rundown. This is the most expensive Star Wars prop. It is not the most expensive prop from a movie. You'll have to check out the video if you want to know what that one is. This thing is, they have checked it. It is definitely the one that was in I Am Your Father scene and in the battle in the Death Star. So they have it screen accurate. They have, the battle scars. It has the motor in it, which I don't really know what that's supposed to mean as far as like, because it said original motor still in it, but I'm like, what? Anyways, but yeah, $3.65 million. When I was doing my research for the video, I couldn't find who bought it, but just $3.65 million. Like, I don't know. That's awesome.
That is insane. That's the real reason why Charlie isn't with us. Like she mentioned about it when we first announced it, she has sold a house, she has sold her partners, and she's living with her Darth Vader lightsaber somewhere. But now, that's insane. That's insane. just over $3.5 million for
It-
the
it-
prop lightsaber.
It
gosh.
beat the trench run model kit from the original Star Wars movie. It beat it by $500,000.
Wow.
So yeah, and there was some really good stuff. And again, I'm not giving it all away, but there was some really good stuff in this auction. And the prices, though, this thing was leaps and bounds ahead of everything. This was nuts. I mean,
Yeah.
crazy amount of money. I mean, this is
31 bids.
yeah. So
Is it just like the same two people bidding back and forth, or was like?
I'm sure there's probably a lot of people at the beginning, and then once you start crusting that $1 million,
Yeah, there's no information of actually who it was that brought it, but I can guarantee no children, no wife, no commitments.
yeah, for
You know
sure.
what? Well, I remember when they were talking about this saber going like to auction, and this was like
Yeah.
I want to say like a month ago. Like,
Yeah,
that they like found it or something, and they're like, oh, it's going to auction. This is how much it's predicted to sell for, but it like doubled the prediction for sure. I think it was only like 1.6 million is what it was predicted to sell at or something like that. And then I come home from work and my husband goes, did you hear about the super expensive thing? Do you want to know what it was that sold? I'm like, Darth Vader lightsaber. And he's like, how did you know that? I'm like,
Because we're evicted.
we know. We just feel it. We feel the news coming past us. Like,
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. That's insane. Honestly, there was what I was going to say then. Yeah, so no one knows any information about the purchase.
I'm sure
that got it.
yeah, that's
it's got to be
probably
somewhere.
kept secret just so people aren't trying to break into people's houses, and
Yeah.
because there are nutbags out there that probably
Oh,
would
yeah.
try to do that.
But you
Yeah,
imagine all these top
where did it
films-
get sold to?
Yeah, exactly. You imagine these top films now that are coming out, like your Dune and stuff like that now. Like all the actors are gonna be like, oh, can I keep that prop? Can I keep that prop? Because
Yeah,
these are investments. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at a long way down the road, but do any of those movies have the staying power that the original trilogy movies have? That's, I mean, again, not the highest selling memorabilia
no.
from a movie. The thing that won was like $4 million, I think was the number, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty iconic, but yeah, this is nothing. And Star Wars has like the first and second highest sales with that Trench
Mad.
Run X-wing and this, and then there was stuff on sale like like Indy's Whip and some other stuff.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
catch up $100,000, which is still like, I want to know what these people do that they can just. I'm like, hey, what's that? That's Indiana Jones's whip from the Last Crusade. Like, how much you spend on that? I don't know, like $450,000. Just kind
So I
of.
can look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they wearing it around the house and I mean, like reliving the
Oh,
adventures
could
or
you
something?
imagine? Could you imagine? Oh, the nephews have
Yeah.
come around to play or whatever. Why is it so
Yeah.
quiet upstairs or whatever? Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
That thing would be under lock and key.
Oh.
So
Right,
All
let's go. Lego. Look at what news you've got for us, Taylor.
Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy Pieces of the Past trailer finally debuts. Disney Plus unveiled the upcoming Lego Star Wars special featuring a wild crossover between Obi-Wan Kenobi and the Sith Lord Darth Revan from the Knights of the Old Republic. The series premieres on September 19th, 2025. Ooh,
Revan
that's
is
like-
here. I can't wait
Oh.
for this Lego stuff. I think it's absolutely fantastic. And
Yeah.
it's a big one against like all the haters of everything, like Darth Jar Jar, stuff like that when that was first shown. Like, and now
Yeah.
Revan's here. Revan has arrived. What's your thoughts on this, Jimmy?
yeah, I've said this, and I think Taylor, all of us have talked about it in the past when we've all watched these different Lego things. This is the one place that the fandom can just get along because they can just laugh and have fun. And they do silly things. You got a good guy, Papa Palps, and an all white Vader, and now you're getting
Yeah.
you're getting Brickhead Ahsoka and all this. It's just a fun thing to do. They always make you laugh. The comedy is always good. I'm really, really excited for this. I can't wait to sit down and watch all 4 episodes and then recap them with on for the show. But yeah, super excited for this. I love this series. Was that just last year that the other one came out?
It doesn't even feel like that long ago.
I think it's
2 years.
2023.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. I know was so much time in between stuff. I never know if it was like just last year or was it like 2 years ago. I remember it was like me, you, and the mailman, I think, but I'm not sure. Anyways, yeah, super excited for this. Can't wait for September 19th to check them out.
Yeah. Well, it's also a show that like little kids can watch. So I can
Yeah.
watch this with my 6-year-old and have no problem. And also it's like it's like they're giving the fans what they want with like the Darth Jar Jar and stuff, but it's not like cemented and like, you know what I mean?
And
So it's
canon,
not
yeah, they just have
it's
some
not
fun.
serious. Like you
Yeah.
can't get super mad at us
Mm.
for doing it. So it works
Yeah, no, it
out.
was last year. Last year it was 13th,
Oh, wow.
13th of September,
Okay.
so just
They
under
didn't pump these things
over a year.
out then, man. Dang.
I
You would
know,
think
right?
that animation would take 2 years to make that. I mean, it's like a full-length movie by the time they're done.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Well, the story, I guess the story's easy enough because it's you're rebuilding the galaxy, so you do whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
You don't have to
It's
worry
good.
about it. Yeah.
No. However, speaking about stories, so there was an article from Games Radar that caught my attention saying that George Lucas cut a Clone Wars Sith ghost scene. So there was a never seen before Sith floor scene featuring Darth Revan and Darth Bane, and it was removed from the Clone Wars because Lucas believed Sith cannot manifest as Force ghosts. And that's interesting because I'm pretty sure we mentioned that, didn't we, Jimmy, when we were talking about Star Wars deaths on the last couple of episodes?
Yeah, I think we did talk about that.
So that obviously caught my eye. So a bit of an insight into this. Sam Witwer explained on Twitter that George Lucas cut it because he wanted to make sure it was clear there are no Sith ghosts. They cannot conceive of anything beyond death. However, Darth Bane did obviously appear before Yoda as an apparition in season 6, episode title Sacrifice in that. So I thought that was quite interesting. A little bit tidbit that caught my eye. Any thoughts on this, Jimmy?
There are not Force ghosts, but there are remnants of, Taylor could probably speak this too. And I'm actually re-listening to the book or listening to it for the first time. Shadows of the Sith, right?
Yeah.
You also had Darth Momin, who there's a helmet on Mustafar, I believe. So there's these, and I think that's what Darth Bane was supposed to be, was kind of like the remnants of it, and Yoda was maybe just powerful enough to see more of it. But even Luke, Taylor, right? If I'm not mistaken, like even Luke, when he's battling that Sith, he can see the actual Sith behind her and flashes of the lightning and things like that. So
Yeah.
we have evidence that they can possess items, but yeah, I don't think Force ghosts. I mean, it makes sense that they can't get beyond. They don't see beyond death. They don't. They're not worried about the living Force. So it makes sense to me. What do you think, Taylor?
Well, it's funny, but the Sith are always the ones that want to stay extra long. So the key is being good.
That's a good point, too.
That's the answer. Yeah. Just try being a good guy.
But you're right. Like, the Jedi have taken a really long time to figure out how to become like commune after death, like through the Force. And I'm not going to discount the Sith for not being smart enough to figure it out. So they've come up with all these different ways, like possessing helmets and knives and like little things like that. And it's like, why wouldn't they? They are super powerful and they have been around for a long time. So finding their own little ways to stick around is pretty cool. And I think I've read in a couple of books that they like you can hear their voices in your head and stuff. So there's got to be something else like in there too. But not coming back as like an actual Force ghost. And if they did, would they come back as a big red Force?
That's a good point. Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
don't know. I
So,
wonder.
I mean, yeah, and I'm glad we have that connection to him though, because I mean that's always a way to bring something back, bring a character back, even if it's not like, Darth Bane. We want him in live action. We may not ever be able to get that character, like if it's in modern time Star Wars, after the sequel trilogy Star Wars. But if you found an item of his, you could possess somebody and they become the new Darth Bane kind of, you know what I mean? So there's some writing issues and some, some not issues, but like some avenues to bring some of these characters into the fold if they really want to later on down the line. So I'm glad that we didn't close the book on it completely. And we have that little opening that we could come in there, and who knows what could happen if you get to a powerful enough planet, you get to a planet X, or you get to whatever, what can happen with the Force being out of whack or something like that. So, there's potential there if people get creative with their writing. So that's pretty awesome. And then our last bit of news here. This is a big one. We also did a video on this one too. Lego has officially, thank goodness, I'm tired of all the nonsense that was going around with this thing, has officially unveiled the UCS Death Star priced at $999.99, making it the priciest set in Lego history. Official release date October 1 of this year for Lego Insiders. And all you got to do is sign up. Like, it's not a big, it's nothing special.
Yeah.
And October 4th, general public. There is a special TIE Fighter Advance Invader that will come with it. If you buy it ahead of time, it's a separate box. But this set compromises of unbelievable amount of bricks, 9,023, which is 1,500 more than the Millennium Falcon had, making it one of the largest Lego Star Wars builds ever. I'm not sure if it beat the Eiffel Tower and the Titanic. I'm not sure off the top of my head. Its dimensions are approximately 20.6 inches tall, 18.9 inches wide, and 15 inches deep, forming a visual cross section of the Death Star, which is pretty cool. The diorama set includes 15 detailed rooms. Notable scenes include trash compactor, Emperor's throne room up there in the penthouse, hangar bay with Imperial shuttle, Palpatine's chamber, and much more. So yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I'll let you guys go because I know quite a bit about this. So what do you guys think when you first saw this?
Insane.
Wow.
Absolutely insane. Yeah, it's just the price of it is I understand why. I think the details on it are absolutely fantastic. But
Mhm.
what I think they could have done here, or should do, because it's so big, I'd have loved it if they'd like released each section of the Death Star. So they've been like $100 for the trash compactor, $100 for this, and then over time you built it together to make the bigger Death Star. I'm going to trademark that idea. So if anyone Lego does that, I said it here first. But I think you'd sell a lot more like that than just going, right, there's a Death Star. Give me $1,000. Go.
Wow, that is such a good idea, Jack.
Thank
It
you.
would make it more affordable for more people as well. And then
Yeah,
it's
right.
more of a collector's thing, and then you can get like a special room that's like a special whatever. Yeah. Oh, explore the forest. You heard it here.
Any further
Oh.
points? Because I know we're going to cover this anyway a bit more in depth in the main show.
No, I've just watched a bunch of videos on it this weekend when I was doing my research, and a lot of negativity around it when it was rumors, and we thought we had leaked photos, which turned out we did have leaked photos. But yeah, when we talk about it a little bit later on, you would think with a build this big it'd get a little monotonous, but from everything that people have talked about, it's pretty good because every room's, like you said, 15 different rooms you're building, and Jack's idea is really great. I mean, that would make it more affordable, especially for kids and things like that.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But is Star Wars for kids? I don't know. Maybe we should
Who
talk
knows?
about that or something.
We'll
Let's
talk
talk
about it.
about
I
it.
just realised. I know, obviously, you just said that's the last bit of news, but we've got two more. That's
Oh.
on me because I forgot to put it in the script. However,
I'm old and
there's-
forgetful, folks.
there is a gingerbread AT-AT Lego piece coming out.
Yes.
Christmas themed. Totally forgot to put that in there. And you get a gingerbread Darth Vader, so that set alone's worth it just for the Darth Vader.
Oh yeah, that one's sweet.
And the biggest bit of news, and this is fantastic, a holiday life-size Chewbacca from Home Depot has been leaked. It will be animatronic and expected to be available fall 2025. Now, 7'5" animated Chewbacca as well. This isn't like a little poxy thing. This is a
Oh my
this is a Puka Wookie. Hands up if you get one of those.
Oh my gosh,
Need.
you'd have to like chain it to your yard. Like, wouldn't someone? I mean, if I saw one of those and it was late at night, it might be
Could
in my
you imagine?
car.
Could you imagine people running down the streets for 7'5" Wookiees?
Oh man, yeah,
Oh,
it looks pretty awesome. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, insane. Right, that's enough for the news. We've got the juices flowing now. Let's get into this week's main show. Okay, so welcome to the main show where we deep dive into the worlds that shape our culture, one story at a time. And today we're traveling to a galaxy far, far away, but we're not just talking about Jedi, Sith, or the Skywalkers. Oh no, we're going to be talking about, is Star Wars still for kids, or has the focus changed? We're also going to touch on the Star Wars prices for like the merchandise and stuff like that.
Yeah, since 1977, Star Wars has been more than just a saga on the big screen. It's been an empire of merch, from the action figures kids played with in the 70s to today's $800 Lego Millennium Falcon. Now push that up to $1,000 Death Star.
Yeah.
Designer collabs that put Darth Vader on the leather jacket. The business of Star Wars is as massive as the Death Star itself. So in this episode, we're going to break down Star Wars. Is it still for kids, or has the focus slightly changed? And if it hasn't, should it? Right? I mean, Jack, you've brought up this topic multiple times over the last few weeks, and it feels like we have all these things that kind of like converged, and we're like, oh yeah, this is enough stuff. I think that we can actually, make an argument one way or another.
Yeah, massively. So good question straight away. Should it change if it's not changed, etc. So we'll start off. So, well, an easy question, easy yes or no question. I don't like 50-50 questions. Would be, is Star Wars for kids? Yes or no? But I'm not going to ask that. I'm going to come to Taylor first, and then go straight to you, Jimmy. And I also want the listeners to listen to the question and let us know your answer as well. So the question is, what would you say now is the age range for Star Wars, and why? So what is the age range for Star Wars now, and why? Taylor?
Okay. This is a conversation I have all the time in my family, because my daughter's only 6, and I would have started showing her Star Wars like the day she was born, if I was allowed to. But my daughter, being a little bit squeamish and gets a bit worried about anything that could be, I don't know, aggressive.
Yeah.
She's 6, and in about 2 years, I don't think that she would even be ready to watch it yet as an 8-year-old, maybe as a 10-year-old. But at the same time, her cousin has watched all of the Star Wars, and he's 8 years old. So, but he's also watched all of the Jurassic Parks too. And that would terrify my daughter.
Yeah.
So I think Star Wars is still for kids. But the age, I guess the age depends on every kid, but I'm thinking probably closer around 10. 10 from my point of view.
Okay, fair. Jimmy?
Yeah, it's hard for me not having kids. I think about my nephews, and like it falls on both sides. Like out here in Kansas, my nephews, they're not necessarily into their parents are kind of guarding them back a little bit, which I don't fault them at all. Because I mean, like the Jurassic Park movies, like their kids, those boys love dinosaurs, but they're not. I mean, they wouldn't sleep for ever if they got to watch Jurassic Park. Just how scared they would be. We've watched a little bit of Star Wars with them. The Lego stuff and some of the what is that, Young Jedi Adventures.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that. And then I have my nephews back in Pennsylvania, who, I mean, Hank, he's like, yeah, I love the Andor season 2. It's my second favorite show. I'm like, Hank, what? Like, there's adults that can't grasp it as well as you did. So, I'm with not having my own kids. I don't know what I would and wouldn't want to show them. I know some of our listeners, don't like Andor because they couldn't watch it with their kids. I would say probably like, I don't know, maybe what Taylor said, maybe like 10 years old and up. If you look at the latest con I was at, Rebel Scum Con, there weren't very many young kids there. And that kind of bummed me out a little bit. So 10, 12, maybe. Especially, that's just a grasp. I don't even know if they grasp what's happening in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's the thing. My wife and I were rewatching Frasier, right? And I remember watching it as a kid and laughed at the physical comedy. But now I'm adult and I can I get all the innuendos and all those things. So how old is a kid until when they can really kind of grasp the gravity of some of these? What's the clone trooper that left and has a family? With the Twi'lek, he adopted her kids.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name off the top of my head, but there's some really heavy stuff even in the Clone Wars. So I'm going to say, I'll say 12 just to go up a little bit, just because I think they may not be able to grasp some of the concepts. They like the flashy and pew pew pew, but maybe I don't know.
No,
I can handle it.
No, yeah, decent. Okay, so I'm slightly above all of you. So I'd say 13 onwards. I'm sort of sticking with Jimmy's theme. So obviously I've been to loads of cons back when I was in the UK. Obviously I've been to celebrations as well too, and it tends to be more teenagers at these sort of events. Maybe because it's the amount of people. Again, because little kids probably would find it a bit overwhelming. Confession: my daughter has seen the new Jurassic Park. She was absolutely mortified by that mutant dinosaur thing that turned up.
The
So she didn't watch,
Rancor.
she didn't watch much of the film. So I completely get Taylor's point. At the same time, she's now 10. I've tried to show her Jedi Adventures, the nub stuff. Just not interested as well when that first came out. I've tried over and over. She will now though sit there, but again, going with what Jimmy was saying there, I don't think she really grasps the storyline. And I've watched my lad as well, James. He's now 15 going on 16. He grasps the storyline now. He's more than happy to sit there and watch it. He came to Star Wars London Celebration as well. Again, he was 13, 14.
That was a while ago, yeah.
Yeah. So personally, yeah, my age range for Star Wars would be 13 onwards.
Fair.
Again, just going with the con stuff as well. Going to these events. So we'll sort of stick with the TV movie stuff, what we're watching. And Jimmy, you sort of mentioned it there, like Hank, saying that Andor is one of his favorite TV shows. Is Andor really for kids? Do we think? Start with you, Jimmy.
I don't think so. Not at all. I mean, most adults can't grasp half the idea. You know what I mean? Like people are complaining, well, it's too slow. And then, especially, and I do think season 1 and season 2 are a lot different because just with the way they dropped them, I think that makes a big difference. But you think about attention spans of a kid. What kid can sit down for 2 hours and watch, for 4 weeks in a row and watch those?
Absolutely.
I would say that they're not for kids.
Yeah.
Hank being the exception as far as, I mean, this kid, he really dives into the lore and understanding way more than I would have had as a kid. I mean, I've had better conversations with him than I've had with so-called like adult Star Wars fans.
Yes.
So, and sometimes he always reverts back to being a kid because it's what he is. But, off the top of my head, I'm going to say no, that it's not for kids. And that's kind of where this dilemma came up, right? We were talking about that, like the most critically acclaimed Star Wars that we have. And anything, I think it's not for kids.
Yeah.
So
Taylor, what's your views? Andor for kids?
No, I don't think so either. And Jimmy's totally right about how some adults just don't even get it. Like it's going right over their head. And yeah, it's boring. Well, no, you're just, I don't know. You're not understanding it. And how I see Andor is it's full of real world issues and real world problems, and some of them are really obvious, like we get that, but some of it's
look
kind
south.
of
You two just look south.
Yes, exactly. So it's so real worldly adult, like this is what we're living with. Kids aren't seeing this stuff as much, right? So a lot of the points in the show and the main things that they're trying to drill down and how scary the Empire and being governed is, like that's not really aimed at kids, right?
Yeah, I agree with you both. And
Porgs getting eaten by Chewbacca, aimed at kids.
Yeah. But again, I was one of those adults that you both mentioned there, where some of the Andor stuff, I'm like, what is going on? So I'd even message one of you to him like, what was this about here? And he'd explain to, right, got you. I'm a 35-year-old guy. It's just gone straight over my head. Obviously, the stuff like the Acolyte as well. Again, is that for kids? It is, again, arguably quite dark, sinister. The fight scenes are absolutely epic. I think kids would absolutely love that. Again, seeing Jackie get shish kebabbed, the net breaking, probably.
I'd still have nightmares and trauma from that. So I can imagine, like, a kid. I mean, think about it. If your kids, if James identifies like, oh, I really like this character, and then he sees her get 3-hole punched in episode 5 or whatever, like, I feel like that's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still stunned that it happened, So that's crazy to me.
So these are all valid points. I think Ahsoka and Mandalorian. Again, you could argue about that, but again, Mandalorian season 1, episode 1. The what's the word I'm looking for? The dissection, the guillotine effect.
Yeah. That's a pretty famous, like how the deaths always kind of happen off screen, kind of Clone Wars-esque. That's like, Dave directing that episode. It makes sense that the idea of it's there, but we don't see it. But if a kid gets it, then like, oh my gosh, I just got sliced in half.
And that leads me perfectly into the next one, which would be the Skeleton Crew. Now, me and Taylor were talking about this offline just, and we'll talk about Taylor's point in a second. But the biggest point I want to for everyone to think about now as we go into it is what Jimmy just said there. You know, you don't see some of these deaths. There's a few things in the Skeleton Crew you don't see things happen. You know, the guy that floated up towards the spikes, Brutus's death. However, Taylor, what was we talking about?
We were just saying how before it even got aired, everybody said, "Oh, the show is about kids, but it's not for kids." So
Yeah.
we go into it, and the first scene, the guy gets his arm cut right off, like super fast, or his eye burned, or something like this.
Oh
and it's
yeah,
like,
that
right off the bat. So
Yeah.
any little kid that wants to watch it is like, oh, like right off the bat. But that right there, that pilot episode was probably the most brutal episode.
Yeah.
And the whole rest of it, kids could have watched.
yeah, because a lot of off the death, that whole little treasure hunt thing, those guys getting burned by the acid and all that stuff too. Like,
Oh yeah, that's a bit
Yeah.
brutal. But like, I don't know. Yeah, that was a brutal episode. But I don't think this show had the same seriousness that like Andor had, and it has these simple jokes that are just like blatant jokes that anybody would get too, right? And like kid things and
A lot of light humor. So we'd probably say I'd definitely say Skeleton Crew is definitely for kids personally.
yeah,
yeah,
I think so. They're trying to disguise it.
Yeah. Other ones like the Clone Wars, obviously. Jimmy, you got anything else?
yeah. I was just thinking like Mortis arc. We've spent a lot of time on
Oh.
that. I mean, Taylor and I did 3 episodes or 2 episodes covering it. We did one not too long ago. We've talked about it more with the Ahsoka stuff in the season 2 coming up. What kid can grasp the concepts? Like, I don't know, of what's happening and what that battle is. And, we struggle, I think, as adults. And that's the fun of it, Star Wars. We've talked about it. Like, what does it mean? Like, what does the Mortis arc mean? I think the last time we did a couple episodes ago, I don't know if any of us really, none of us like disagreed, but none of us agreed. Like, we're all kind of like, well, I think it means this. I think it means that. It'll be up to Filoni and those guys to kind of, give it meaning, I guess. But the Journal of the Wills stuff with Yoda, when everyone thinks he's going crazy, that's pretty intense. And again, there's a lot of stuff with the clones wanting to be more than clones and being seen as, as individuals. And I don't know, maybe a kid can identify with that where like, hey, I'm growing up, mom and dad. But when does that happen for a kid? You know what I mean? Is that 12, 13 when they get to that point where they're like, I want my independence. I'm a little adult now or whatever. I don't know. So there's definitely some stuff in the things that are for kids, the Clone Wars, because famously George Lucas just told somebody in something, don't forget this is for 12-year-old boys, right?
Yeah.
I cannot remember. I think it was Sam Witwer was talking about it when they were on the production of something. But like, maybe he's talking to Sean Levy or something like that when he was telling him, beforehand or something. I know that that was just in the news. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
What about Bad Batch? I'd
the
say Bad
text
Batch
is
is for
pretty
kids.
tough, man.
Yeah, it pulls on the heartstrings definitely, but my personal opinion, I think Bad Batch is for kids definitely.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, I
Don't you
think
think
so.
like I don't know about you, Taylor, but don't you want your daughter to kind of be like Omega, like strong, independent? We got like takes care of her business. That'd be. I would think that's a good role model for a kid, for a young girl.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, like look at Omega. She doesn't let she's not afraid to get help, but she's also not afraid to like take charge and do what needs to be done and those kinds of things. So I think she's a good example. Some of those episodes were scary in season 3, though.
Some of them are, and
That's maybe where I'm going wrong with Tessa and Revenge of the Sith.
Oh god,
Yeah.
has she not watched it?
No, she like I say, she will watch it. She didn't quite understand the storyline, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
a bit much.
I would rather my daughter be watching, you're right, Omega being awesome and saving her older brothers or younger brothers or whatever, however she says it. I would so rather that than the stuff that is on like the streaming services right now. Like, what is the big thing right now? Demon pop stars in miniskirts?
K-pop
What is
demon
it?
Yes,
slayer.
so again, but my daughter loves that K-pop stuff. Absolutely
What?
loves it. There's all
Oh
the
my
songs,
God.
everything.
No, see, Space battles.
It's
Yeah.
the
Saving your
biggest.
family.
That's the biggest streaming show on Netflix.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
huge.
Red Notice or something like that. So
Sick.
Well,
yeah.
Ugh.
So that's
Ugh.
that's just the TV, movie, series, and stuff like that we're talking about, right? And then we sort of touched on this in the news. And so, again, I keep mentioning it. And Jim was like, "Now is the time to discuss it." But Lego,
Oh,
you know, we just mentioned it there. $1,000 for the Death Star. The Falcon itself, I think it was about £600 over in the UK. So it's probably
I
what,
spent
$800.
over $900 on it.
Boom.
Oh my gosh.
It's just been discounted as well, by the way, even further because of the release of that Death Star coming up. But again, Jim's like, great Lego sets. I mean, you know, we look back. There's over 1,000 sets. I think I researched. So I did quite a bit of research on this, and just to put the disclaimer out there, I went through Brick Economy for this stuff. So before I get sent to Lego jail, that's where I got my facts from. So yeah, just over 1,000 sets, 52 sub themes. Arguably, the most iconic set is the Falcon. The most commonly owned set is the 501st Clone Troopers Battle Pack. The highest growth set, so one that's been sold the most, is the Scout Trooper helmet. One of the most minifigures, again, is the Mos Eisley Cantina. And I'm sort of with Jimmy here. So again, James went through a phase of Star Wars Lego. We had the Pod Racer stuff. We had the Mini Cantina stuff. The Yoda Dagobah set. A couple of other bits and bobs. It gets to a point where you're watching your child build this stuff and they're doing it wrong. And you're like, oh. Or I'll go in there and I'll be like, why is this broken? Why's Yoda's hut's broken? Where's his brick gone? Now, again, these super expensive sets, I 100% get it that they're for collectors more than kids, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But surely there has to be a bigger market for kids than there is collectors. So, for example, if I had 1,000 kids that would want to buy or want a miniature Falcon for $100, would more likely sell than, say, 10 collectors to buy, you know, the Falcon. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Yeah, possibly. I mean, it kind of goes back to your idea with the new Death Star, chunking it in pieces to help people out a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've only built like 1 or 2 Lego sets with kids. Built a quad jumper, and again, it was frustrating to watch the person I was working with not do it properly, and then try to help them. And then after we had it built, within a day, it was in pieces, and I was like, "Oh, it's like $150." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
You're never gonna find the pieces again.
I mean, they do have those children's sets, but even those things are cranking up towards $25, and I'm like, come on.
yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, Star Wars, not so much even Star Wars, but the brands that work with Star Wars are sort of outpricing, I think, what Star Wars are trying to gear Star Wars towards.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, another thing that we've looked at as well is lightsabers. I mean, they depend on the brands and what quality you want. Again, they'll range from like $10 all the way up to $300-$400, or if you're super rich, 3.5 million. But you get my gist, you know. And lightsabers is probably the most iconic toy. You know, if you see someone with a stick, first thought lightsaber. You know, that's the big thing. Celebration's a big one. I sort of mentioned it with my reason for the age range. Jimmy, you've put on there as well. It's not really geared towards kids, is it?
No, you know, there's a small section, but I know they do little things each day, but they repeat the same stuff every day.
Yeah.
You know, and it was I mean, not that, I mean, I guess the location doesn't really matter because there's kids everywhere, but yeah, I mean, I can't imagine, like, James was a trooper.
Yeah.
For, you know, we used that poor kid to get around some things. But he was a trooper, man. Like, going, and I mean, I remember falling asleep at Celebration, like on day 3 or something. I found a quiet place and just sat down because I was like, I am worn out, because you're getting up crack of dawn to get there and get in line, and then you're staying there, and then you're going to do something afterwards, and then you're traveling back to your, you know, your Airbnbs or your hotels. And I mean, you're getting 3-4 hours of sleep at night. So that's not ideal for kids. That's not ideal for families. Like,
No.
I've been wanting to figure out a way to take Hank with me to a Celebration, or like Rebel ScumCon or something. But I still think, like, I think he's, how old is he? 11 maybe now? And I still think he's too young for it to really like to be able to like enjoy it. So
Yeah.
I don't
And you-
think Celebration's geared towards children at
You-
all.
not with the price of the tickets. I know obviously they get in for free. I think it's under the age of I want to say 12. Off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
there's a discounted price, but it's still
But even so, it's not like you're going to go to them. Right, you go in the kids section. I'll see you in 6 hours
yeah.
because you've paid full whack for a ticket. You know, you
Yep.
want to go around and see everything as well. So again, I think with events, they've got to sort of find that common middle ground. Like some of the Comic Cons I've been, we've got the Saber Guild people that do lightsaber battles with the kids. Charlie does it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the 501st guys and girls, amazing. They'll go around, have photo with the kids, get them involved. That stuff's amazing. But outside of that, there isn't really anything.
They don't do
Or-
panels. I
No.
mean, do they know enough to like want to go meet somebody? You know what I mean? Like they don't care that, like
This is the thing, right? You gave me a brilliant idea, Jimmy. Right. So you imagine Mark Hamill turns up for the next celebration
$700.
and he literally
I
says,
bet.
right, this line here now, if for this time, is kids only from the ages of no adults. No adults. Obviously, they got one adult to accompany them, just one. Because obviously, you're looking after your kid, whatever.
Yeah.
Do something for the kids. I think. Think of an actor or someone
I
they
will-
they like.
Give Ewan McGregor a shout out, and I felt mistreated and mishandled, not by him, but at Celebration in Anaheim. It was his first con, and it was like it was embarrassing how the signature I got is a joke. Like
Really?
I'm still kind of he paid almost $400 for it, and it's like scribbled with an X, right? And he's going through them. These lines are so massive. We waited hours, it felt like, and they're just flying us through. And we got to a kid, and they did stop, and he did have a conversation with this little kid that was in line. But then after that, it was like boom, 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 boom. Just pushing us all through.
Yeah.
It was a little frustrating. That's more on the celebration side of things. I don't really think it's Ewan McGregor, but he did take the time and paused, talked to the little kid, showed him some appreciation for being there, and then back to the processing plant that was like just shoveling us through, making those. Every person that came through there paid the same as I did, and that's nuts to think about how much money he probably made.
Yeah.
So
And then we talk about money being made. So the next thing to bring up is, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. Now the entry price, anywhere between 100 to 110 currently. Obviously, that's going to change during holidays. You've then got to factor in your flights, your hotels, yada yada yada. I looked at it just for me and my son, but when I was in the UK, £10,000, and that's without the workshop stuff. Again, that's nearly $200. The Droid Depot stuff, nearly $100, and the food, $10 to $20 a day.
building a lightsaber was $175 or $225, I think. It wasn't.
Wow.
It wasn't cheap. And I told my students this story the other day when we were talking about the Renaissance, talking about Italy. And I was like, it's still cheaper to go see these works of art for me here in the United States than it was to plan a trip to Florida with just myself and my wife to go to Disney and Universal, so you could take your family international, go see some, cool stuff for less than it costs to go to Disney.
Crazy.
It's nuts.
To go see a fake thing.
Yeah.
We love it. We love it.
We love it. Yeah, don't get me wrong. I think if you can go, that's great. But the cost, the stress. I remember because we got to go a bunch in college in February every year. And I remember being older, I kind of sit back and would just kind of watch the dads and the parents just stressed to the limit
Yeah.
from just trying to make everybody have a good time for everybody, then just probably thinking about the dollar signs, just cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching every time they did anything. So not a family friendly park as far as price is concerned. Family friendly as far as obviously entertainment value, probably the best, but to get there, it's a little pricey. Yeah, for
It's a
sure.
whole year's worth of pay.
Yeah, is the juice worth the squeeze? Next thing I wanted to bring up is the retail prices as well for Black Series. Again, massive collectors. I've got a few beyond me. Standard 6-inch figures typically priced between $25 to $30. Jimmy, how much did you pay for that Ahsoka?
I'm pretty sure it was 24, 25. This was at Celebration, so I probably paid like way more than I thought because I mean pins were $45 there, so that was insane.
Yeah, that's another thing. Deluxe and premium figures again, they range from $30 to $50, and then yeah, you exclusive and special editions. Now I was lucky enough to pick up one of the Ronin Black Series.
Yeah, yeah, that was $100, 110, right?
Yeah,
I didn't realize I
insane.
was buying stuff.
You know yeah, it was a crazy day.
Oh my god!
I managed to pick up. Well, Jimmy got it. My Darth Maul again.
I spent like
The most-
$3,000 that day.
It's insane.
I mean, a lot of it came back to me, but I mean, getting Jack stuff and Danny and other people's stuff. I mean,
yeah,
it was an expensive, and I was around people who were buying their like 100, 103rd, 104th hot toy. Those
Yeah.
things are $400
each.
Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
So I was quite lucky with mine. So this is going to be my next question, and again, it's something I want to put out to the viewers and the listeners as well. Is what is your most expensive purchase or purchases? So 1 or 2 or 3, whatever you want to do. Why did you buy it? Do you still think it's value for your money? So I'll start us off to get a little bit of feel. So the first one, well, I've got 2, but it's 2 in 1, is going to be my Darth Maul Sideshow and my Ronin. Again, I still think they're worth it. I've not even taken my Darth Maul out, which I'm thinking of doing this week anyway. Purely because of Japan was probably the best time of my life. Unreal. So I've got those memories. And then my third most expensive Star Wars purchase, I'll call it a toy, collectible, whatever, doesn't make any difference to me, is my Vader.
Ooh,
That was sort of like that was a drunken purchase that I'd forgot about. But the deposit went out, and I was like, "What's this?" And then played it cool, and then actually realised I'd spent a bit of money on that. And then actually, my other one actually is probably it's more expensive than all of these. I've just remembered is my Sand Trooper cosplay, which we'll talk about in a minute, Taylor. Because obviously you're massive into the cosplays as well.
Yeah.
So they're my top 3. So my Maul, Vader, Maul, Ronin, Vader, and my Sand Trooper. Taylor, what have you got? What's your top 3?
Well, I didn't think of this beforehand, so this is off the top of my head. But I think the most expensive thing that I still have and bought that's Star Warsy is my Black Series Kylo Ren lightsaber.
Oh crap! Yeah, I got one of those as well.
So, and I believe it was close to $375 Canadian, but that was when Rise of Skywalker came out. So it was like, I need it. And you know what? I don't know if it's worth it now. I don't know if it's worth that dollar amount. Like it's very heavy. I can literally just grab it right here. It's very heavy. You can't actually swing it around because the weight is completely off on it. Because I like to play with my lightsabers. You guys know that. And also, it just having it in my hand made me realize that this is so unrealistic because Kylo would have cut his wrists off like 80 times already. So he would have had to have like Beskar like gauntlets or something. But just the way that it's aged and how I've had to change the battery on it twice. And I don't think it was today. I would not buy that same thing. Next would be it's not really Star Wars, but it would be my 3D printer, which I got from a friend actually, and it was only $200 versus the $460 that he bought it for. So that probably would have been super expensive, and that's what's helping me build my different cosplays because I'm working on a Mandalorian right now.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
But can you imagine how expensive it would be to make a Mandalorian cosplay without printing the pieces yourself? It's thousands of dollars. Like
About 10,000.
Yeah, about 3,000. Yeah, exactly. So working on that. And what would be my other? As I look around.
This is it. We've all got so many things.
It is, yeah. I think it's going to be just the value in how much I spend on books.
Yeah. Okay.
That's one thing. Not just one book. And we'll say, okay, one book cost $30.
Yeah.
What was it? This was like, the Trials of the Jedi.
$29.99 probably.
Mine was like $35.99, and that's
tariffs.
Yeah. So times that by how many books were in that series?
26.
Yeah, there you go.
27.
This is one of the more expensive ones, but still, that I've spent hundreds of dollars on those books.
Because you
Not
also get them
including-
on Audible too. So
Yeah.
and I'm buying them on Audible too, and that's like $12.99 a month or whatever. So yeah, I guess books, lightsabers, and cosplay.
That's nearly $1,000 on books. Just work that out. I'm terrible
There
at
you
math.
go. Look at that. Okay, I should have started with that
Exactly.
one.
Jimmy, what about you? We've kept
well,
you
I've
to
got the
last.
UCS Falcon, and that's over $900.
Yeah.
I've got some Funkos that are worth a lot of money now too. Like, I didn't pay a lot for them then, so appreciation. So I guess I can't really count those. I didn't pay a bunch of money up front for it. My saber from Disney, and it's not great. It's not a great lightsaber. The experience is pretty fun.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
paying for the
I'm
experience.
paying for the experience. The lightsaber itself is, it's fine. Being at Rebels Comic Con and Celebration, I've handled other like those lightsabers that they have for sale, and I'm like, these things are phenomenal, like balanced and weighted perfectly.
Yeah.
But they're also like a couple $100. Most of my money's probably in Lego because I also have like Jabba's barge, and that was $600 or $500.
That's
Nice.
a
I've got a couple other UCS sets and things I haven't opened. Like most of them are sitting here not open because I'm afraid to open them after how much money I spent on them. And then, honestly, my next big purchase is probably going to be that Death Star.
yeah.
So you're looking at another $1,000 Lego set. I probably have, and I live in California, by the way. So just to let everybody know, I joke about the Kansas thing. I live out in California, so go find my house there. I think it's called Rancho Obi-Wan. Just look it up. But yeah, I have a lot of money sitting around me in Lego, in Black Series, in I bought the Ronin at Celebration as well.
Yeah.
Some other of those things. So yeah, I don't know. I would have to say though, it's all Lego for me. Why I made that
Nice.
transition from Funko Pop to Lego, I have no idea. But
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So again, just for the listeners and viewers, let us know what your most expensive Star Wars purchase is, or 2 or 3 of them. Is it still worth the money to you now as well? And why? Why did you purchase it? I think we've covered quite a lot of topics there on like just merchandise. I'm sort of trying to keep it in the realms of, is Star Wars still for kids? So
Let's-
Well, think about it. Would you spend that thousands of dollars on Lego,
Yeah.
$1,000 on books for kids?
I don't.
Would
think
you
so.
spend that on your kid? You love
No.
your kid, but would you?
yeah, and that's the point too. So people want darker Star Wars. They want more Andor series, and they want more. Maybe what Shadow Lord. What's that going to be like? It looks probably. It's about Maul. It's about crime syndicates and stuff like that. So it's going to be a little bit more adult. And I know we've been going for a little bit, but should Disney start to focus more on adult entertainment as far as, I know we're saying it's for kids and stuff like that, but why can't we have a lot of different things? But everything we've talked about, we've bought for ourselves. I've bought in toys and collectibles, and I've gotten stuff signed for Hank and other people and stuff like that. But would it be smarter for Disney to like focus more on adult type, television shows like Andor and movies, like make them a little bit more gritty? Now, we all love our fun movies and stuff like that, but should it be more geared towards adults, since adults are the ones who are buying all this stuff? What kid's going to buy a $3.65 million lightsaber? These are adults making these
Richie Rich.
purchases. Yeah. And so it's like, to me, I don't want to lose that. I don't want to lose that innocence of Star Wars. I don't think you have to. I think it would make it more, but I do think, for me personally, like, you could gear it towards adults, or they should at least focus on that more than they have. Like, Andor is like the only show we really have that's like, this is for adults kind of thing, right? And I think, like, if we're the ones spending all the money, we're the ones traveling to Japan, to London, to Los Angeles, to whatever, and we're spending all this money and doing all these things and buying $1,000 Lego sets and $40, why not drive the entertainment more towards us?
Yeah.
When we're the ones buying the stuff. I just think their prices would go up. I can't imagine it would go down. Like, if you gave me more Baylan Skoll stuff and it was a little bit, give me the backstory of Baylan Skoll, and it's dark and it's gritty and it's him suffering after the Order 66, I'm probably going to buy everything you make from it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
think, and I, again, I'm not saying that I want all my Star Wars to be geared towards me and as an adult. I mean, I like it all. You know that. You guys know that. I can't wait for Visions and I can't wait for Lego, but why not give us a Jedi themed show as intense as Andor? Because that would be real. Like, that's the books. Taylor and I read all these books. They're intense, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're
You could
sad.
make-
I cry.
You
in them.
couldn't make you could not make the High Republic into movies without making it intense and it probably I mean Markion, whatever you want to call them, the Nameless, like they're going to scare the crap out of kids. But
Terrifying.
adult fans are going to eat that crap up.
Mhm.
And then you're just selling more stuff.
Yeah. Well,
Black Series Markion Row helmet. Like how much is that going to go for?
oh my
You know what
gosh.
I mean, Loading Great Storm's lightsaber. Like all these things. Like
Yeah.
just off the top of my head, a light whip, whatever. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what you guys think, and that's kind of where my head went when we started talking about doing this episode. Is like maybe they should gear stuff more towards us,
Yeah.
because we're the ones that have the money. But you
Yeah.
also keep the shows on Disney Plus for the kids, the Lego stuff. You know, you bait them in like that, and then you just as they're growing up, you can kind of move them up the chain, and then they
Mhm.
start spending their allowance and their summer job money on Star Wars stuff. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, even think like the little kid shows, like, I don't know how much of Young Jedi Adventures you've watched, but there's also so many like little hidden things in there, like just planet mentions and species and like the different kinds of fruit that you hear from like books and stuff. So there's tons of stuff in that kids show, also geared to adults. But one thing I really wanted to point out is that yes, George Lucas wanted Star Wars to be for kids. Think about how much like the world has changed. Think about George Lucas's Star Wars for Kids, A New Hope. We got burned skeletons laying there when 10 minutes ago we saw them, like arguing about painting the roof or whatever. And we have a guy getting his arm cut off and blood everywhere in the middle of the bar. Here's the tip for the mess. And you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that was for kids back then. We don't have a whole lot of blood and gore. And think about that scene in Ahsoka, a room full of stormtroopers and 3 different Jedi with lightsabers. Did
Yeah.
you see any decapitation, any arms flying anywhere, any blood, any
They were
smoke?
bounce off of stormtroopers these days.
They
like,
were going down and there was nothing stopping them, but they made it so that it was kid friendly.
yeah,
But also, you're right. We are the kids of the past that loved these shows back then, and they're trying to keep us with something that's more adult, like Andor now. So, but I still think that deep down, Star Wars is for everyone because it just goes to show that life is not always happy days. It's not easy. There's horrible things in the world, horrible people, and all the people that are bad are always the people that give into human tendencies, right? And then there's the Jedi who
Yeah.
are just selfless. And all in all, Star Wars is about love and family and the family that you choose to be with. And that is what I want to teach my kid in the end.
yeah.
Yeah, and camaraderie and like teams and everything. So I'm still gonna be forcing my kids to watch Star Wars. Don't look at that demon garbage.
Fair point. Jimmy, any final closing comments?
No, I agree with Taylor. I mean, the message is
Yeah.
is timeless. You know, it's ageless. Like found family, love, all that kind of stuff. Good over evil. You know. But Disney, you want to make more money, you should probably make the fan base that's spending money
Yeah.
a little bit happier. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's kind of dumb for us to say that because we're gonna go see whatever comes out. So you know what I mean. But like a lot of the grumpy people and like the mainstream people, like teenage kids, don't want to go see Star Wars.
Nah, it's
You
not
know,
cool.
it's not an event for them. It's not cool right now. So it's like kind of going back to like when I was a kid when it wasn't cool to be a Star Wars fan. You
Right.
know? And so that makes me sad.
Brilliant. Well, on that bombshell, then, again, I totally agree with what Taylor was saying. So I think you hit the nail on the head. Thank you as always, Taylor, for joining myself and Jimmy. It's been an absolute pleasure as always.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, awesome. make sure you tune in this Thursday as well for the Star Wars quiz, guys and girls. Jimmy, over to you, buddy.
All right. If you have any questions or just want your voice heard, then DM us on our socials or send us an email or voice note at exploretheforce@gmail.com. And remember to like this episode, share it with your Star Wars friends and family. To follow us on all of our social media platforms, all you have to do is search Explore the Force, all one word. And if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
And also, if you want to show your support and spread the word around by image as well as voice, then head over to Redbubble and search Explore the Force, where you can purchase unique merchandise. And a massive thank you to everybody interacting with us via social media. You keep this podcast amazing.
And finally, you've been listening or watching Explore the Force, and we have spoken. See you guys next week.
See ya.